Now I'm going to show you how to do Stencil Monotype. So you have your stencils already cut out, and then you have your inks. Take a little bit of 3 colors. It's up to you how many colors you want to do. Start with just a little ink at a time. You can always add more. Don't want to waste ink. And please always screw the cap back on. Now, you want to make a little ink pad. So you just make a line. And you can kind of go by the sound. Does everyone hear that sound? Okay, if it's going like really sticking, that's too much ink. Like, let me show you what that might sound like. Like that's too much ink, okay? You want it more gentle sound. And it kind of has a lemon skin texture. If anyone can see that, kind of glistening. And last one. I probably will need more ink, but that's okay. Go different directions to get it nice and even. All right, what color should my background be? Anybody?
Red.
We got red and yellow. Okay. So just roll it on. I can tell I'm going to need more ink, but that's okay. Or you can keep it like this kind of look if you want it, sort of a, you know, misty kind of effect. But I don't. I want flat. Okay, let's do this crazy shape. I'm just not mixing them so that I don't spend a lot of time. I'm gonna do this as fast as possible so you can get back to cutting, but you can absolutely mix your colors. Put it where you want. This one I'm leaving it light on the bottom on purpose. I don't know. See, it's all about experimenting, right? And overlapping will make it really fun. You don't have to overlap. I'm not forcing you, but it's cool because then you get all these patterns on the back side. Okay, don't ink them up in white though, because you can just put it on like this, and it's white. Okay, so don't waste your time. I mean, you can, it's not a problem, it's just, now you have to clean up a white roller. What if we just add some texture to this one? Which triangle? This around my fingers? Yeah, so if you're worried about that, you should change your gloves, and you can have one pair of gloves for each color. But if you're not worried about it, then you just go with it. Or you can paint a little yellow on top or something, but then you might get a weird bump. I'm just gonna go do a little something like that. Let's see what it looks like, right? So I'll just experimenting and playing with this project. All right, we need our paper, our registration guide, and a plate, of course. So now we're ready to print. I'm gonna just push this out a little bit so I have access to the middle. Okay, so to see what happens, the blankets actually moved this. So make sure before you put it through, you put it back to the right pressure. And then we have some other, these ones look fine. They look good. Okay. On the very bottom, you put your registration guide. This side up. You want to make sure your ink isn't too thick, otherwise it's going to go everywhere, right? It's just going to splurt. But if you want that to happen, which could be an effect, you have to think about which way the press is going. But in general, you don't want it. Okay, take your paper, put it in the corners, and gently down. Now, it's a tiny bit off, but you know what? It's better to just leave it than to pick it up and move it, unless it's totally crooked, because it could move the pieces underneath and smear. So you can always trim it afterwards if it's uneven. Okay, so just remember that. If your border is uneven, just trim it. Better than smudging the image. You can't do anything to fix that. Paper down, blankets down. And make sure it's on 9. That side doesn't seem to move as much. Okay, and we'll see how the pressure is, because this is the first time of this technique being printed. If I don't like it, I'll tighten it. Feels good though. You can feel the pressure. And you can hear it too, right? Okay. Blankets up. All right, you're only filming the bed, right? So if anyone wants to gather around to see, you can take a peek. Okay, you can see like the shapes showing. That's a good sign. So you peel it off. And there you go.
Wow. And you can like see the paper.
Yes.
It's like
From the white outline, you mean? Or
like I don't know what it's called, but like the thickness of the paper, you can see.
Yes. It's called an embossment when it's like you can see the indentation.
How did that happen?
Which part?
Like the outline.
The outline is because the stencils are a little higher, so that paper can't get the ink around the edges. So you get this cool white outline. There's no way to get rid of it if you don't like it, sorry. Unless you use the thinnest paper ever, but then it would rip. So it's just part of the process. Okay, so now we're gonna do print number 2. So back over there. Okay, so I took off the gloves for the press because I don't want to get fingerprints on the blanket. And now I think I kind of need my nails to get these off. So I'm not putting them back on yet. So then you see the other side. You have these like cool patterns. Get that one. Okay, and also the background, like those will show as well. So now you're gonna just put them back down again. I don't really like that one, so you don't have to use it. And I'll put my gloves back on now because I want to add new stencil this time. So otherwise it might all be very faded. And I want some things to be a little bit brighter and darker. Okay. So you want each composition to be different from the other ones. So they shouldn't all look the same, right?
Can you keep the same one and add the new one?
Yes, you can. Like you can just have a pile and you can switch them. You don't have to use them all every time. Okay, can someone grab a new sheet of paper, please, and meet me at the press? Okay, thank you. All right, print number 2. See, this one keeps on moving. This much. Like that. All right, now we do one more. I have this box of textures you can also use. Here's some lace. Use that. Okay. So to do a blend, you take the 2 colors that you need and you put them next to each other. Okay, this is the new one. And you go back and forth. But you can't go different directions, right? You can only go one direction, but you can kind of... Touch it, so I'm going to smooth it. Okay, so I'm going to put a lace bit. That's okay. Let's just put that. Okay, my hands are okay. Go check your hands. If they have ink dripping on them, go wash them. All right, can someone bring the last sheet of paper? If this is dirty with ink, you can wipe it. And the other benefit of the Sharpie being on the underside is if you go like this, it doesn't get rid of the Sharpie. Yay. Okay. Line it up. Thank you. Check the pressure. can go back and forth, so you don't have to only go one direction. That's the nice thing about the press. Okay, so you can see we're at a new ink. It's darker, but you can make it even darker. It's a little bit light, but actually the shape that was there before is still kind of showing. Do you see that? It's like very faint. I could clean it off and start over, but I actually wanted something like that to happen, so I left it. And this one is just from the plate, right? There's no shape there. It's only the plate. And now the lace, if you were on print number 2 or 1, you can flip it and you can print the other side of the lace on your next one. But I'm done, so I don't need to. Okay, so that's the process. We'll be doing that on Wednesday. Are there any questions?